Hey everybody, thanks for buying a Camp Chef pizza oven. You've got one now at home. Might look a little bit different than this, and that's all right. We make a few different models, but they work the same, and you're gonna work with them just the same. So that favorite pizza that you've had, whether you've been on the road, overseas, or even in your own hometown, you're soon gonna be cooking just the same in your own backyard, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. First things first, we've got to attach the fuel tank here. So we've got a propane tank, 20-pound propane tank attached to it. You're just going to attach a hose and regulator to it, open it slowly, a couple of turns, and once we've got fuel flowing, we're going to go right over here, light that sucker up and get it going. Okay, so we've got the gas connected and turned on. First things first here, we want to take this door off of there so that as we turn that gas on, we don't get gas buildup in there, and it pops if it doesn't ignite immediately. So just come over here, obviously assuming that you've already assembled the pizza oven, which with this is pretty easy. It's just putting the stone in the brackets there, so we're set to go. But you're gonna come over here and click on that gas. Now, Camp Chef burners are professional level as far as BTU, heat output. So we've got everything from 30,000 BTUs all the way down probably closer to 8,000 BTUs. You don't want to go that hot, especially on a brand new oven. There could be some moisture in that stone, so turn that burner down. I usually like medium to medium low, and the reason being is it kind of helps cure that stone and also bring it up to temperature slowly. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But plan on this process here taking 20 to 30 minutes, especially your first time. It's going to take a little bit, and then depending on your outside temperatures, if you're going to do a pizza party at 6 o'clock one night, at minimum I would be out there and have that thing going by 5:30, 5:40, something like that, 15 to 20 to 30 minutes before, to slowly bring it up to temperature, because you don't want this stone a lot hotter than, say, the air temperature, which is up here. The closer it is to equalize, the better your pizza will cook. Okay, so we've given this pizza oven about 20 minutes to come up to temperature, and really what we wanted to see was 650 to 700 degrees. We've got a thermometer on the top of the oven. You'll see that on yours, so you can read the air temperature. That's kind of your ceiling or roof temperature. But the other part you want to check and see is on the inside here in the stone temperature. And you want it to be fairly equalized. You don't want it to be a whole lot higher or lower one way or the other. But we've already put together a little pizza here. This is actually probably more of a cheese bread. One tip or trick to talk about on these pizza peels is get a good pizza peel. Camp Chef makes them, made out of bamboo. But more than anything, put some flour on the pizza peel, and that way that pizza slides back and forth on there. So as you go to put it in that pizza oven, it's going to slide right in there. I prefer flour over cornmeal. I feel like cornmeal burns at a lower heat point and it just gets bitter. So I'm not much of a cornmeal fan, but even if you do use it, just use it sparingly. And I would say the same for flour. Use it sparingly. Don't get too much. You don't need a ton on there, as you can see on here. And what you're going to do is slide it right off into the pizza oven. All right, so we've slid our pizza in there. Again, you're going to want the air temp, stone temp. It really depends on your liking. I usually like around 650, somewhere in there, but it also depends on what you're cooking. If you can do thicker breads, you can do even rolls or that type of thing in here. It would be a little bit lower temperature. But once you've got it in there, you've got to keep rotating it, and that's not necessarily unique to the Camp Chef pizza oven, but it's just to make sure that there's no hot spots, that you're getting even heat all the way across that pizza that you're doing in there. So get yourself a good spatula. You can reach in there with a little longer handle because it's hot in there. You will see some discoloration on the stone. That's totally fine. That's just part of the patina, right? That's part of the seasoning that we're doing on that stone, and it won't hurt it at all. So the other thing I neglected to mention was as you are preparing these pizzas, I like to pull them out, not roll them out, because you'll see on here some of the bubbles that are appearing, and when you roll them, I feel like you're pushing some of the bubbles or the gas out of there. I like having that. That's part of the character of the pizza, and it's a little part of the flavor, I guess, too, as far as the way it cooks. So you just keep rotating it around. At times, you'll see where the base of the crust, the bottom of the pizza will be done before the top will, especially if you put on a bunch of toppings. And the way to fix that is you can lift that pizza all the way up and hold it right up against the ceiling there, and that will finish stuff on the top while also kind of relieving a little bit of the heat from the bottom. But as you start making pizzas, go easy on the pizzas. Go thinner on the crust, go easier on the ingredients. Don't go heavy like you're used to seeing at a lot of the pizza shops, traditional American pizza shops you may have been to. Go easy on it, and I think it'll make the process of cooking it a lot easier as well. All right, so I am cooking pizzas in this today, but don't just think that a pizza oven's only good for pizzas. Obviously, you can do a lot more in there as well. One of my family's favorite things in there is to do cedar plank salmon. So take a cedar plank you can buy at any hardware store, soak it in a bucket really well, because this gets really hot. You don't want that to start on fire. Then just take a piece, a steak if you will, or a piece of fillet of salmon. Season it however you want, with oil, with seasonings, however you want to do it. Put it on that plank. I usually like to do it with a bed of lemons, so thin sliced lemons as a bed, and then the piece of fish on there. Slide it in there. You'll need to rotate that a little bit, though it's not round, so it's a little tougher. But rotate that fish while it's in there, and it cooks up so well in a pizza oven. It just cooks perfect, puts a nice crust on it while cooking it evenly across there. Another great one is steaks you can do. I wouldn't do them right on the stone. Do that in a cast iron skillet or something like that. But you can do steaks right in the pizza oven that are a really good kind of way to broil it, if you will, or sear it off real quick. And then don't forget any of the breads, cinnamon rolls, that type of thing. So if you're doing pizzas in camp, first of all, you've really raised the level of camp cooking. But when you're bringing in cinnamon rolls or chocolate chip cookies, something like that, you're going to blow the minds of all your neighbors. You might even have a new friend after the weekend and showing them how to cook in the outdoors. All right, hopefully this video has helped you get well on your way to being the pizza expert you'd envision when you bought this pizza oven. But for more tips, more tricks, more recipes, check out campchef.com. And if you have any questions or need any help with this, don't forget to call our customer service. They'd be happy to help you out. And last thing, it's more than just a pizza oven. Make sure you're using it for so many other things while you're cooking outdoors. Chicken, fish, steak, baking cookies when you're in camp. This Camp Chef pizza oven will do it all.